Hello, all. I'm DeborahAcker, and I'm so super excited to have you here today for the first Truth Talk Tuesdays. I am so super excited to be talking about today's topic. Today's topic is going to be, can you be kind and honest? So definitely a good question. Definitely something that I've been thinking about. Definitely been something I'm constantly working on. For those of you who don't know me, my name is DeborahAcker. I am the pattern girl. I love to work with people on the different things that are coming up in their life that keep reoccurring in different spaces to really help them to shift into a life that they're truly excited about. Mainly, I work with women who are looking outside of themselves for value and happiness, who are putting their careers, their partners ahead of themselves. And so today we are going to be talking about Truth Talk Tuesdays. If you can invite your followers, I'd really appreciate it. Any hearts, I really appreciate it. Hello, Andy. How are you? So excited to have you here today. So I want to talk to you guys today about something that for me has been really percolating, right? And it's like, can we be honest and kind, right? So can we be honest? Can we be kind? And what I am wanting to share with you on this, because I know we grow up with this conditioning around that, you know, we don't want to hurt people's feelings, right? And it can be a really common thing. So as we're moving towards more truth in our life, it can be really hard when we're trying to have those honest conversations with someone. And I know I can, definitely find that can be, that's challenging, that's hard for me as well. And so I want to kind of put some different ideas, some different thoughts into your mind. And first of all, that first idea is around many times, we think that kindness and honesty have to be mutually exclusive, right? So we have a tendency to really think like, okay, like if I'm kind, like if I'm honest, then that's not kind, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to mean that those two have to exist outside of themselves, right? Like it does not have to, they don't have to be separate from each other. Thank you so much for the hearts. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So yeah, so really to keep in mind, it's like these do not have to exist separately, right? And every time, sometimes if I'm in that frame of mind and I'm trying to, and I'm wanting to write someone, right? And I'm angry, or I'm in that space of like, sort of kind of just wanting to comfort that. I reshift myself, I reshift my focus, and I focus on love. And so I take what I'm feeling, and I know like sometimes I'm feeling anger or whatever. I'm like feeling like, oh man, why did she say that? Or why did that happen? And I reshift it to kindness. I reshift it to this idea of love and how I can be more loving. And so is this something you guys struggle with too? Like, where kind of that thought always like, it's like where I can't, I need to be, either it's kindness or honesty, and it can't be both. So really just as I'm writing those notes or as I'm talking, I'll take some deep breaths, and I'll really shift back to, I'll shift back to that kindness, shift back to, that love. And then also, like, let me just ask you guys, how is this showing up in your relationships, right? Like, where are you seeing this? I know a lot of times it's really common in dating, right? Being a woman and dating men. I see this a lot with guys, right? Where guys are like they just kind of want to try to, ease on out of something, as opposed to just being honest and saying, hey, you know what? This is what happened that shifted it for me, and let me ask you this to just kind of really think about this. It's like, do you want to have relationships with people where they're not being honest with you? And do you want to have relationships with people where you're not being honest with them? Right? As a woman too, we can really struggle with this idea of saying no. Everyone struggles with it, but especially women can struggle with that. And it's like, what if your no is so powerful, then it starts to attract the types of things that you're wanting to attract. Thank you so much. Thank you. Love that phrasing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So it's like, what if this idea of me saying no then starts to attract the things that I want, right? Because we tend to think that like saying no is bad, instead of recognizing that saying no just helps keep calling in the things that we are wanting to call in. It keeps calling in that honesty, that truth in our life, that love. And so I just really, really want to kind of just recenter that and reposition that for you, right? And just to really, really recognize that we can always return to this idea of love. We can shift out of the idea, this concept that being honest is mean, that being honest can be love, it can be kindness, and we can really, really shift that. So let me just see here what else I wanted to cover. So I started to talk a little bit about this whole idea of what if, like, how do you want people to respond to you? Do you want people being honest with you, right? Because, we have to keep in mind, it's like this idea of, when someone is showing up for you, and whether they're being honest or they're lying, whatever they're saying is about them, right? So we have a tendency, it's very, very common for us to really, really to take what someone's saying and to think it means it has something to do with us, right? And instead, really, really getting this idea in our minds, in our heads, that what someone is saying, how they're showing up, how they're responding to you, whether they're telling you the truth or they're lying, it's about them. Right? It has nothing to do with us, and it has everything to do with them. So just really, really kind of noticing that and kind of paying attention. And for me, I really want people to, be honest with me, right? I want to have those relationships where we are comfortable enough to say what's really up. And as you practice this, another really big thought around this honesty and kindness is that, like, we have a tendency to think that being honest is going to hurt our relationship, that being honest, if we're honest and it's like we're saying something that someone doesn't want to hear, that's going to hurt our relationship. And what if the opposite is true, and you being honest and you being vulnerable really is going to open them up and is going to create more vulnerability and more love in that relationship, right? What if it's the opportunity to build a stronger relationship? What if it's the opportunity to really, really build a just a more loving and stronger and more open relationship, right? So it's that refocusing, repositioning, reframing of this idea that honesty has to hurt our relationships, that honesty is bad, or that, that's in some way we're going to get hurt from it. The other area I want to talk about where this commonly happens is at work, right? And we really have to feel into, is being honest in this situation going to help me, or is being honest in this situation going to hurt me, right? We get to choose who and what, who we speak our truth with, right? We get to choose who we, who we speak our truth with, right? And so if it's going to hurt you in an environment, in your work environment, especially if it's going to hurt you, then just really, really recognizing that, you get to choose who you're honest with. You get to choose how vulnerable you are, what you say, how you show up. And if it's going to end up hurting you, I would definitely recommend, just feeling into it, right? Because sometimes, we have this idea that honesty is going to hurt, but what if you being honest in that situation helps create a better working environment for you, right? What if that's what really happens, and, you thinking, okay, well, I'm not going to be honest because I'm worried I'm going to get fired. So, but it's just feeling into it. You have to, really, really feel into your circumstances and feel into, is this going to end up helping me? Is this going to end up hurting me? Is it safe to share my truth in this situation? And really, really move from that. So that is today's Truth Talk Tuesday. Is there any questions before we close out for today? So if there's not any questions, thanks so much for joining me today. And if you have a question or a challenge that you're having around speaking truth, around moving towards truth in your life, you can definitely submit that to deb@DeborahAcker.com. That's just deb@DeborahAcker.com. And I would say as well that, if you are looking to really move into a life of more truth, a life that you are truly excited about, many of us, have a block in one area of our life, whether it's relationship, abundance, career, health, whatever that is. And I work with people to help clear what's on the inside so that you can attract what you want on that outside. Thank you so much for joining. And until next time, I hope you have a great